Hello everybody, this is Valencia and welcome to my channel Balloons and Business, where I show you the business of balloon and event decor. So today I decided to challenge myself by making this balloon garland mostly out of ribbon. Now normally I use the necktie method because I find it to be more time saving and economic. However, I know some people have difficulty with the necktie method, so I decided to use ribbon today since I did not have any 260Q balloons. So it was a challenge. It did take more time for me to finish, but since I was at home, I had the time to do it. So if you want to see how I made this balloon garland, just stay tuned. So I blew up two 11-inch balloons, rounded them out, and tied them into dupes. And this is pastel blue Sempertex brand. And I used 5-inch, 12-inch, and 18-inch in the pastel blue. I also used Tuftex Baby Blue in 5-inch, 11-inch, and 17-inch, as well as Tuftex Regular Blue in 5-inch, 11-inch, and 17-inch. So now I'm going to use the ribbon method to make my balloon garland. Now you could twist your dupes together into small clusters like of 2 or 3 dupes, and then attach your clusters together using the ribbon. But I'm going to attach my garland dupe by dupe. So I'm going to start off with this 17-inch dupe right here. Then I'm going to take an 11-inch dupe and place it across the top of that 17-inch dupe. Then I'm going to take my string and then I'm going to wrap it under the 17-inch balloon, over the 11-inch balloon, under a 17-inch balloon, and over the 11-inch balloon about 3 times, and then give it a good tug to make sure that those dupes are together nice and tight. Then I'm going to take another 11-inch dupe and I'm going to put it on top and across the first 11-inch dupe. Now I'm going to take the string and I'm going to wrap it over the new 11-inch dupe and under the original 11-inch, over the new and under original at least 2 times, and I'm going to give it a good tug for security. Then I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, wrapping a new dupe on top and across the previous dupe, then wrapping that ribbon across one balloon in the new dupe and one balloon in the old dupe, and giving it a good tug to make sure it's nice and secure. You want to wrap that string around at least a couple times each dupe, and make sure you get a good tug for security. Not too hard because you don't want to pop the balloons, but just enough so you can make it nice and secure and make sure that those dupes are nice and tight into each other, because you want your balloon garland to be nice and tight and not loose. So by the way, I decided to use ribbon instead of fishing line because fishing line is so fine it tends to cut the balloons. I rarely use fishing line to make balloon garlands. To be honest, I rarely use string to make balloon garlands. I usually use my twist and tie method. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But again, I decided to challenge myself and use the ribbon method so that I can show another option to you guys that are having some difficulty with the twist and tie method. Now in a little bit, I'm going to show you my twist and tie method because I got a little lazy and I wanted to show you for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about. Now I decided to do an ombre color with these blues. I went to do the dark to the medium to the light, and I'm going to make this kind of a beachy themed balloon garland. So now I'm going to cut this ribbon here, and I'm just going to twist the excess ribbon around one time and then tie a knot. You see me putting the ribbon through the knot, and I'm going to twist it around again and tie another knot. And then I was twisting the excess around the balloon a few times and then just decided to cut the rest of it off. So this is how I'm going to be attaching my balloon garland. I used some painter's tape and I attached a command hook to the wall on all 4 sides. And then I double tied about 3 to 4 feet of ribbon onto that hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the balloon garland, I'm going to press it firmly against the wall, and then I'm going to take that ribbon and wrap it around the entire width of the balloon garland. I'm going to wrap it around one time, and then I'm going to tug it to make sure it's nice and tight. Then I'm going to wrap it around again, and then tug it to make sure that that balloon garland is as tight against the wall as possible so it's not just hanging all loose. So I was able to get about 2.5 wraps around before I had to tie the ribbon into itself. And this is how I attach the balloon garland to the wall. Now I made 4 mini balloon garlands, and I'm going to show you how I attach them to each other. I just took some ribbon and tied it around one balloon in the garland I was trying to add. Then I just wrapped it around a couple balloons in the other garland, wrapped it back around in the first garland, and then double tied that string into itself. So I'm showing you in slower speed what I'm doing. So I'm just taking that ribbon and just wrapping it around. You want to make sure that you cut about 3 to 4 feet of ribbon, because this was only maybe about 2 feet of ribbon, so it wasn't a whole lot of ribbon to work with. So I could only wrap it around one balloon before I had to tie the ribbon into itself. So I'm just showing you how I'm connecting my command hooks to the wall using painter's tape. Make sure you use painter's tape so you don't damage your walls. Now I want to show you how I did my twist and tie method. What I did was twist together 2 11-inch dupes and 1 dupe of 17-inch balloons, double twist them, and I'm going to take one neck from one balloon in one cluster and one neck from another balloon in another cluster and tie them together. And this is how I normally make my balloon garlands. Then I'm just going to tie that to another balloon within the pre-existing balloon garland. Much easy, much simpler, a lot less material used. But since I am trying to do this challenge here, I'm going to show you how I tie my clusters in using the ribbon. I'm just wrapping it around a couple balloons in the pre-existing garland, wrapping it back around the portion that I'm trying to add, and then double tying the ribbon into itself. So that is how I am attaching these clusters using the ribbon. It is more time consuming. The balloon garland isn't as tight as when you do it neck to neck or using 260Q balloons, because the latex makes it so much tighter with more tension. If you want to take some balloons out, you will have to get some scissors and cut those balloons out of their clusters. I admit I got a little lazy and cheated a little bit by twisting some of my dupes into each other rather than adding them on with ribbon. But my honest suggestion is, even if you do use the ribbon method, to also utilize the twist and tie method when you can. Tie some of those dupes in, twist some of those dupes in there. Don't just use ribbon all the time because it will be too time consuming. Now I'm adding some 5-inch clusters using ribbon. I just tied some ribbon around one of the balloons in the cluster and then just wrapped the ribbon tightly around a couple balloons in the balloon garland. Again, giving it tension because that's what's gonna allow it to be tight. You know, ribbons tend to hang loose. So you really need to tug and give tension to that ribbon in order to make sure that the balloons are tight against each other. You don't want to go too tight to where you're popping the balloons, but just tight enough to where you're making sure that those clusters are sticking to each other nice and tight and secure. Now I wanted to add a little something extra to this balloon garland. I wanted to make it a nice beachy theme. So I got these inflatables from the Dollar Tree and I am using some glue dashes. You don't want to use glue dots. Glue dots are not strong enough. You want to use glue dashes. Now all of the materials that I'm using, including the balloon brands and sizes, will be listed in the description box below this video. So if you want to know where I got the glue dashes from and the balloons from, just go ahead and check that out. So I'm just adding these cute little ring inflatables, and I'm going to be adding some beach balls as well to give it a nice little beachy theme. I also put up my neon Let's Party sign to add a little bit more festivity to this balloon garland. So this is the finished product using the ribbon tie method. Now, as I mentioned before, this is not my preferred method of making my balloon garlands. I prefer the twist and tie method because you use less material and it is less time consuming. The balloon garlands tend to be tighter because you're twisting and tying the balloons into each other rather than attaching them with other material. Now, my suggestion would be, if you are going to tie your balloons together that you use 260 Q balloons instead of ribbon, because the latex makes for greater tension and a tighter balloon garland. I also am not a fan of using fishing line to tie the balloon garlands together because, as I mentioned before, fishing line is very fine and it can cut and pop your balloon garlands with very little pressure. With that being said, do whatever works best for you. I just wanted to give you guys another option outside of my usual twist and tie method. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead on and like it, and please subscribe, and you'll get notifications on future videos on balloon and event decor. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.